The episode opens up in Central City, where the Flash, also known as Barry, helps Saturn Girl and Chameleon Boy install components into a spaceship. Once he installs everything, Chameleon Boy asks him if everything is ready, but Barry tells him that he won't complete the installation until the two of them tell him everything. Meanwhile, in Supertown, Lord Zod tells his accomplices that they are finally undetectable. This is when his alien accomplices ask him what the purpose of their mission is. However, Lord Zod refused to tell them anything, claiming that Darkseid had ordered them to obey him. The aliens then tell him that they don't want to go into the mission blind since the Malefaak is not stupid. On the other end, Kilowog and Tomar Ray of the Green Lantern are traveling to New Genesis for a conference when Tomar Ray hears an emergency distress call. The two of them rush towards New Genesis but find a body floating near the planet. Kilowog revives the person they think belongs to the Blue Lantern Corps, but is surprised to find that it is their friend razer. Kilowog hugs razer and asks him why he was planet hopping without a fully charged ring. He tells the two Green Lantern soldiers that the blue ring he is now wearing requires hope to function, but he feels hopeless. At the same time, Orion welcomes the Justice League to New Genesis. Rocket, who Orion greeted, expresses her nervousness about the conference since he is Darkseid's son. However, Viken tells her that she needs to have more faith. They are interrupted by Tomar Ray's appearance, who reveals that Kilowog will be joining them later. Kilowog questions razer and asks him what he has been up to since the two of them parted. razer reveals that he was traveling through space when he came across a Blue Lantern ring that was powered by hope. He took this as a sign to abandon his Red Wrath ring. During his meeting with the new King Metron, the king took the ring to keep it safe in his interdimensional vault until razer was able to complete his quest. Despite working for a long time, razer claims that his quest remained unfulfilled, which is why he arrived at New Genesis to get his red ring back. Elsewhere, Forager confesses that she is surprised that Forager gave up his seat at the conference. Forager then claims that he trusts Flash and Rocket to handle the conference in his place so that he can spend more time with Forager. Back on Earth, Saturn Girl tells Barry about the Phantom Zone, Krypton's extra-dimensional prison. The Kryptonians had never intended to keep criminals there for eternity, but when Krypton was destroyed, the criminals remained trapped in the prison for centuries since no Kryptonians survived to free them from the Phantom Zone. When the last Phantom Zone projector was discovered on New Genesis, the United Planets found that criminals had unjustly been trapped for over 1,000 years. At the same time, Lord Zod tells the aliens that his mother was trapped in the Phantom Zone when she discovered that she was pregnant. Since prisoners there did not age, she carried General Druzod's son for a millennium. After her parole ended, Lord Zod was born. The United Planets bureaucrats trapped all of them in a Kryptonian colony world known as Daxam, orbiting around a red sun that prevented them from gaining any powers. However, Druzod started rebelling along with like-minded Daxamites and moved them to a planet orbiting the yellow sun. Lord Zod reveals that now that they have their rightful powers, they can put an end to their suffering. On the other hand, Saturn Girl tells Barry that Druzod was evil and intended to assert his control over everyone and everything. Luckily for everyone, the Legion of Superheroes defeated General Zod and sent him back to the Phantom Zone. But because his son was still a teenager, he was not sent to the zone with his parents. Lord Zod claims that he was raised to hate the El family, and his father had even tried to lead a coup against Jor-El. When Jor-El found out about it, he teamed up with his brother Zor-El and trapped his parents in the zone. Later, the Legion destroyed the Phantom Projector, trapping Lord Zod's parents in the Phantom Zone for eternity due to Lord Zod's multiple attempts to steal the projector. The Legion was inspired by a descendant of the El family, which is why Lord Zod stole the last remaining sample of kryptonite and the Time Sphere. He then used the time sphere to mess with the timeline, so when Saturn Girl and Chameleon Boy chased after Lor Zod, they discovered that the Legion of Superheroes was destroyed. This is why their goal now was to take the time sphere from Lor Zod and stop him from destroying their future as well. Meanwhile, Razer meets with Metron and asks for his red ring back, but is told that it will be returned in exchange for his blue ring. At the conference in New Genesis, Rocket reveals the evidence of Darkseid's forces infiltrating and attacking Earth is overwhelming, and that they need the Highfather's help in stopping them. However, to her surprise, Orion tells her that the truce between New Genesis and Apocalypse came at a heavy cost, which is why they don't want to break the truce. They offer their sympathies, but tell Rocket that there is not much that they can do for her. Before she can say anything, she is interrupted by a phone call. During this, Saturn Girl continues to tell Barry that they chased after Lor Zod, but the time stream was hard to keep track of. They began keeping an eye on Superboy, who Lor Zod was after, but when he secretly traveled to outer space, Lor Zod was able to trap him and kill both Superboy and Phantom Girl. Back in New Genesis, Rocket finds herself at a crossroads, as her husband tells her that their son will need an aide in school. In the meantime, Razer takes the ring from King Metron, but when he puts it back on, he's surprised to notice that nothing happens. Metron then confesses that he had detected the blue ring's energy and directed it towards Razer. He had manipulated Razer into accepting the blue ring so that he could study the red ring. Hearing this, Razer begins to get angry. This was exactly what Metron was after, since he wanted to see the ring in action. Things begin to heat up as Razer starts attacking the king for deceiving him by sending him out on a fake quest. As Razer continued to attack, what the king had not expected was that the blue ring would accept Razer, giving him the power of 2 rings. Razer uses his newfound power to punch Metron through a portal. He then heals Forager, who had gotten injured due to one of his attacks, and bids his friends goodbye as he leaves to continue his quest. Back on Earth, Saturn Girl tells Barry that Lor Zod had discovered their time sphere and destroyed it, trapping them in the past. Luckily for them, they borrowed Miss Marcian's retired bioship and traveled to Superman, hoping that he would take Superboy's place and inspire the League of Legions again. They had then contacted Barry because he too was able to time travel like them. At the same time, Lor Zod tells the aliens that he contacted Darkseid and made a pact with him, which is why he lent him the 2 aliens and a device known as Kaiser Thrall. This would help him steal the Phantom Projector that was being kept in Metron's vault and free his parents before taking over the galaxy, once and for all. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time.